Hi, it's Mikael, and today we're going to learn together how to integrate some movement into your spinning. In this tutorial, we're going to work around three sections. The first one will be called martial movements, because it's like stance and movement that I took from martial arts. The second one will call the sun in front, because we're basically doing the tricks we learned in the previous video, but this time in front of us, and see how we can incorporate some movement in there. And the third section will be full spinning around the body and adding a pirouette in there. The basic footstep I will teach you in this video will follow you if you do contact, if you do point, if you do any kind of other props. It's basically coming from dance and martial arts, and it will teach you how to move in space, but not just by randomly walking around, but have an idea of what you're doing. And by doing so, we can play also with the geometry all around us and connect all the pieces of knowledge we have. And you will bring way more dynamic in the way you play. It's way more fun, because you can really start to move in space and feel more like a ninja or a Jedi. So, for the first really basic footstep, we're going to not focus on spinning at the moment, but just to move in space. And I want you to face in one direction and try with your chest. And try to imagine the line that we're going to use to move on. So, for that, I will start first to the first step. And see now my chest is facing the other direction. And I can do another one in front. And we are doing basically half circle with our feet, and you can come back in space. And here if we do half circle, I can keep going in front, but we can also turn completely around and come back in the same position we were. Now we're going to have a spin with it, just a front spin with one hand. Here I'm starting with my right hand. And at the right moment where I'm going to the other side, I'm following with my body and doing a step. And again. And now I'm going to go back spin to coming back. Do it again. Front, front, back, back. And now if I'm including that not into a half circle but a full circle, I will first do the front, and now by changing direction I'm in back spin, and I will just follow the spin with it, and I'm back in place. And if I do that fluently, look like this. Just again all together. So we started now with the front spin, but we can also do the other way around, going in front but with a back spin. And so we look like this. Just to show you that it works also, and the same for the full circle. It works the same. And for the sun in front, the easy way to start is to start from a back spin on the side. And now, when I'm arriving in front, instead of passing into my hand just like this, I will step. You see, like I'm really stepping in the other direction. And by doing so, now I turn the back to the wall plane, and I am in the sun, and I can come back. I can also, instead of going to the full motion of the sun, just do the transition down and do a full circle. It's the same full circle that we did in the Marshall way. Just now with the transfer in front, then we can also open for the sun. And come back. Now, the full body spin. First, let's start, for example, with the front spin on our side. And now, instead of passing it here on the middle like we will do, we turn our body completely the other side. And this is why it's important to have this chest motion, and you add to our speed. So I'm here, front, then on the side. And by doing that fluently, it really gives a lot of amplitude to our movement. And you notice that here I'm in front, now I'm in backspin. And to this we can also add a really nice pirouette. When we're riding our backspin here, we can just do the motion of the full circle that we did before. And of course this is also possible on the other side. Now I'm going to follow on the right side and coming back. And that's it for this tutorial. Pretty simple, right? But this is often the case in spinning. Like some of the most simple concepts are quite efficient and look really nice and bring a lot of fun to your play. But doesn't mean that it's hard to understand. They are quite simple to get. And it's often for where I'm going, because this is easy part that we can add to our play. And often people have tendency to really stay stuck because they're not comfortable into what to do, how to move, where to go. And if you follow like just this simple idea of Marshall movement, it's quite easy to get. In the next video, I'm going to introduce for you something which is quite important in spinning, was not necessary so far, but it will be for the next video, is the notion of beats and rhythm into our spinning. Maybe you already felt it because sometimes you did one turn too much and then things were not working the same. And this is what we're going to see together with the triplet. Then you can have in both directions and also one beat. And with some first basic concept of tracing and also some really nice body tracing. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I always welcome any kind of feedback. If you want more information or find my Patreon, is on the link below. And I see you in the next one.